Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's a live studio. Yes, you just get to hear some of us chatting, talking about political issues, national issues, burning issues that concerns you and I. Well, it's all about the resolution of Southern governors, talking about the ban on open grazing, the aftermath of that resolution. Some are saying all these governors came together and there was a massive back. So much so that it shook the South region positively to its foundation, saying, yes, our governors, they are finally awoken. First week, second week, now going to months. It's like no action. First is seeing what they are seeing. Herders are going to farmlands, according to reports, destroying crops. Kidnappers also doing their deeds negatively. It's like there is no change despite the fact that a solution was made, to the extent that there was a threat letter given to one of the governors, specifically Delta State governor, some residents in Asaba, saying that a group of persons will attack if they don't return to status quo. And you get to hear the president talking about the old grazing roads, and of course the AGF in order to go dig it out, no turning back. What is really going on? With me here in the studio to talk about this, I have a political analyst, public affairs commentator, and of course a member of our New Nigeria Initiative, right? Join me to welcome Odigie Wadiaye. Welcome to TMI Sunday's edition.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers.
I keep confusing for Oyego, so to speak. I wonder why that is. All right, welcome to TMI Sunday's edition. And of course, I have a vibrant legal practitioner here with me in the studio, a political analyst, public affairs commentator, human rights activist. Join me to welcome Barrister Matthias Obayuana. Barrister, welcome to TMI Sunday's edition.
Thank you, Wisin.
All right.
Good morning, viewers.
Now, when the Southern governors came together in Asaba, it was applauded, heralded by many. It was, yes, finally, our governors, they've awoken and they are set to protect us. Talking about banning open grazing, restructuring and all that. They talked tough. And they were like, no going back in everything we have tabled in these Asaba Accord. Some people call it that Asaba Accord. And here we are today. It's like the same old story. Honorable Odigie,
Yeah.
what do you think is happening?
Well, the answer is not far-fetched. When the Asaba Declaration occurred, overwhelmingly, the citizens of the southern part of Nigeria supported the action taken by the 17 governors. Unfortunately, making a pronouncement without law backing it becomes a problem. Let me quickly say what I have done, or rather what New Nigeria Initiative did as far back as the year 2000 and 2021. Precisely June 6th, we introduced a bill on the prevention of cattle grazing in Edo State, which was submitted to Edo State House of Assembly. It never saw the light of the day. It is presently gathering dust in Edo State House of Assembly archives. We were the group that saw tomorrow. Then in March of this year, we reintroduced a refined version on that prevention of cattle grazing, which was also submitted to the current Edo State House of Assembly Speaker. On May 1st, a copy of that bill was also submitted to Edo State Governor. What happened? I don't know. Probably it's still gathering dust. We have done the needful. All they could have done was to give that declaration a legal teeth, so that the herdsmen, the rogue herdsmen that are raping, destroying our properties, threatening our lives, will be arrested. Unfortunately, it took years for the governors to wake up from their slumber to make a pronouncement. And they are not walking their talk. Presently, you have cattle herders coming to Ring Road in Benin City. You have them everywhere. Go to Dumes Road, Ugbo Road, everywhere. It's business as usual. We know the police will not do anything because the police is being controlled by a certain ethnic group. You said I should not mention the Fulaniks. They are being controlled by the so-called caliphate that want to conquer the whole of Nigeria. By so doing, the police is unable to take action. We can do citizens arrest if there is a legal teeth. If they can pass a law to make open grazing illegal, I can arrest. But currently or presently, there's nothing we can do. So making a pronouncement in Asaba and going back to your state, you have done nothing. It is only Rivers State, just last week, introduced a bill to their State House of Assembly. What happens to other states? Then Ondo State did theirs. The other 15 states, they've gone back to their slumber. So what we are saying, this is a very popular bill. If any of the governors, especially in Edo State, the bill is already on the governor's table. All they need to do is instruct Edo State House of Assembly. I spoke with the speaker, and he told me that he's still dialoguing, negotiating with other House of Assembly from other southern states, especially South. I don't know what he's dialoguing for.
All right. I will come back to you. Well, you heard him. He spoke at length. He talked about the efforts made by individuals in Edo State, even groups also, before the commencement of the Asaba Declaration. Even after the commencement of the declaration, the coming together of governors, same old story. Barrister Matthias, what do you think is responsible for this?
Well, I think it's a lack of political will. The governors themselves, they came out to do the right thing, speaking, feeling the pulse of the people they are governing. Because it's often said that the interest of the people is the reason why government is in existence. So they have heard the cry of their indigenes, who are farmers, whose product plantation will be destroyed by the herders bringing their cows to graze on their farm. And then mindless killing of the same herdsmen who also bring their cows to come and graze on your farm, also killing those they meet in the farm. And then they came on together to look, the only way to solve this is to put a ban on open grazing, which is an idea, you know, that has actually come to stay. It's not actually fresh, because Benue State Governor Autumn was the first to pass that bill into law. And then we saw the aftermath of that the herders relocated to Benue and did more havoc. And then they seem to have the backing of the federal government, whose spokesmen have always been saying that, well, the reason why these people came to attack you was because you closed the grazing route, you placed a ban on open grazing. Why did you do so? The Mieti Allah and all of that came up to say, look, if you don't revoke that bill, if you don't cancel that law, this attack will continue. You are the one that provoked the attack upon yourself. You know, and those are a statement that ought not to come from them. In a true federation, we keep saying that Nigeria, the way it is structured, you know, is not in accordance with what is there in the Constitution. We say we are a federal republic. If you are a federal republic, every state is independent. They can pass their various laws, and whatever laws that you pass in your various enclave as a state governs the people. So whenever if you are in Benue State, if you come to Edo State, the kind of law that operated in Benue is not what you meet in Edo State. When you come to Edo State, you conform with the law that you meet there. So every state has the power to make their laws, given the nature and peculiarity of their people. But here, the federal government appeared to lord it over them, to say, why did you make a law? You ask a state assembly why they made a law to ban open grazing. A law which they made to favor their people. And that become a reason why they were being attacked. Rather than coming to their aid and going after those who have attacked them, they decided to blame those who passed the law. So I'm sure that this kind of fear that the certain governors happen to be harboring as we speak. Because you came together to make a statement. And the moment you finish making that statement, the Attorney General Federation came up to say, why did you do that? You don't have the power to stop anybody from carrying cows up and down. The right of freedom of movement applies to human beings and not to cows. So you cannot make law to regulate the activities of cattle cattle rearing to ensure that you put them in ranches and don't carry them from one place to the other. Or that making such a law amount to to affecting a people of a particular ethnic group. And so for that reason, we were quick to react to say that why would they do a thing like that? And then we saw the public outrage that no, Mr. Attorney General Federation, you are goofed. You ought not to have made that kind of statement. The governors have the right to make laws, for the best interest of their people. And then the right of movement, we must also, get to know that it's not absolute. That is why when there are riots or a present situation in the country, there can be a restriction to movement, what they call curfew, to ensure that the people cannot just have access to any public institution, without proper checks. So there's a level of control in terms of a movement. So they're simply saying, look, they're not saying that Fulanis or Hausa, whatever tribe you belong to, don't move from the north to the south. We're not saying that. You can move from the north to south to carry out your business. And when you carry out business, cattle rearing is a private business. I don't know whether government has a share, but the federal government of Nigeria has a share in cattle rearing. I know Mr. President is the sponsor or the patron of Mieti Allah, who are engaged in cattle rearing, is also a cattle rearer. So if that sentiment is passing across to them, it's not the president of the Fulanis or cattle rearers, it's the president of the Federation of Nigeria. And people are complaining that the cattle rearing business is affecting them. And then they put a ban or restriction on nomadic herding. And then you come to say, why will you do that? And then in the heat of all of that, a threat letter came from nowhere to the governor of Delta State, where the headquarters where the meeting head, to say, well, if you don't refrain yourself from going ahead with this kind of thing you are proposing, I'm going to attack you. After all, they attack Benue, and then they blame Benue State government for passing the law. So if you do it now, they're going to attack you, and I'm so glad when the men people reacted.
All right.
If you try it, you will see the repercussion of whatever it is. So in all of this, the federal government have kept quiet, they kept mute. They did not investigate that letter to see those who are actually behind the letter, to find out whether there's actually a real threat and how they can put an end to it. Nothing. So you can find the governors, for me, back to their cocoon. They are afraid. Oh, do we pass this bill? Oh, will we actually be attacked by these people? Oh, how do we go about this thing? So it appears they have lacked the entire will. Because in a true federation, every state have control of their security apparatus. Now, the governors are just on paper chief security officer of the state.
Okay.
But they don't have the legal muscle to order security agency to ensure that they comply. But I'm glad with this vigilante and Amotekun, whatever it is that they have already brought to be in their various regions to ensure that to assist in security, because if the security and welfare of the people, according to section 14 of the Constitution, the permanent purpose of governance, of course, it belongs on every governor to ensure that the welfare and security of their people is number one on their agenda, their policy, in their policy. So, in doing so, if the federal government say, oh, the police and DSS and all the security apparatus are under the control of the federal government, we cannot release them to you. Create your own security apparatus to ensure that it's done, because you cannot make a mere pronouncement without it being backed by law. I will remind you of a pronouncement that was made by Governor Shomoli when he was there, banning bike riders from plying the roads. Now some of them went to court, and the court come to hold that look, your mere pronouncement is not law.
That was after how many years?
Yes, okay. You must back it up by law because that legal process took a while to the court of appeal.
Right.
So now the mere pronouncement of open grazing is banned. It's a political, it's a mere political, it's a wishful thought.
Okay.
Give it legal backing by sending the bill to the House of Assembly. Okay. Let it pass into law.
All right.
And then we now see the political will among to enforce it. Like what my brother has said here. I salute his effort for all the effort he has made. I never knew he had gone that far. Presenting a bill to the House of Assembly, a copy to the governor, encouraging them to do the needful.
I will come back
so
to
why are they afraid of doing it?
I will come back to you, Barrister Martha, but please, I'd like to caution us, gentlemen. We don't want this to be ascribed to a particular tribe, okay? Please, let's just stay on course. All right, now he talked about the fear factor. Who is afraid of who? Of what?
Well, it is quite obvious. Some of us are afraid. And what are we really afraid of? Maybe, probably because of their political ambition. They are there to satisfy or add to the gallery of others. When they use other people's prison to determine what their opinion is, it becomes very difficult. There's a difference between the Negro and the Negroes. What the federal government is doing, or one particular ethnic group, they take action and they implement their action. Whereas we from the South, we react to their action. A case in point, the Asaba Declaration. After the declaration, nothing happened. The federal government came. The presidency announced that he's going to declare, or rather to gazette the open grazing route. The Attorney General supported. So it looks as if there is a script being acted on by this ethnic group. So when you condemn the presidency that is not doing XYZ, what they are doing is they have declared what we call psychological war.
Psychological war?
Yes, psychological war. Religious war. Jihadist war. To conquer the other territories.
Anyway, that is all.
I'm coming, my brother. Hold on.
It doesn't hold sway.
To conquer
you're not talking about conspiracy theory.
So, whether you call it conspiracy, this is the reality.
We don't work with conspiracy.
This is the reality from our own perspective. What the federal government is doing now, the Satanics, the so-called big-time lawyers, what we are good at, they went and assumed the Constitution. They read the Constitution and they came and said, oh, there's nothing like grazing route in Nigeria. It is only the Northern Grazing Act that was implemented in the First Republic. What happened? A week later, the federal government instructed Ministry of Agric and gazetted 22 states, including Oyo and Ogun, to be part of the national grazing route. See, they walk the talk. They don't just make pronouncement, they walk their talk. After the 22 states, who knows what next? They will now extend it to Edo State and other states. They are coming. You see, what we need to do is to take action and let them react. What stops us from empowering us to stop cattle rearing? We can flush them out in less than 48 hours in Edo State. if I'm given that opportunity, without any hesitation, who are the Fulanis?
Oh, hold on now. This is where
they have cattle everywhere.
This is where I put my foot down.
They have cattle everywhere.
Don't ascribe this to any tribe.
Whatever you
So
the
please.
cattle headers, the rogue the cattle headers, they are everywhere. Raping our women, killing our mothers, destroying our properties, kidnapping our people. They will say, oh, the federal government should come to our aid. And the president says so on Arise television. That I told the governors, go back to your states and address insecurity problems. But that statement, the president has mandated all the states in Nigeria to go and create your security architecture. What are you waiting for?
All right. I will come back to you. But please, Honorable Dige, watch your emotions played by the rules. Okay, we don't want any form of inciting statement against particular tribe or religion. Please, let's be guarded. Let me come to you, Barrister Matthias Obayuwana. He talked about walking the talk. He said, we from this region, we only react. We do not act. We only react to actions taken by some certain groups of persons. Do you share the same view?
I do. I share the same view. You take a cue from Ondo, Governor Akredolu, when he put a ban or asked the cattle headers, those who occupy the forest, to leave the forest. He was reacting to the level of kidnapping and insecurity in the state. People being kidnapped and dragged to the forest. The moment he made that statement, those who walk the talk in the federal at the federal level reacted. He hadn't even finished making that statement. They reacted immediately to say, no, don't say that. They have a right to occupy anywhere. They can be in the deepest parts of the forest. It's a grazing route. They can be anywhere. Don't stop them. Nobody talking about those who are being attacked, those who are being kidnapped, those who are being whose livelihood is being destroyed. When those things are happening, it's a graveyard silence from the federal level. But when you say anything to try to say, look, those who are actually who are fingers to be the cause of this all this crisis, please, we come out from the forest. Let us know who you are, where you are going. They react immediately. When the Asaba Accord came out to say, look, there's a ban on open grazing, the same federal agency, the officers that have been placed there, they reacted immediately. So it became an issue that it is script that actually agree with things that they are actually acting out. Everybody arrange themselves. So when you talk, the next person will react, the other person will support it, the métier allow them, they will all come at the same time on the same issue. Now they have overwhelmed the Satanas. The psychological war.
According to report, the Métis Allah, they are really in support of the southern governors. So look,
recently,
do what you need to do.
Yes.
Ban on open grazing.
Yes, recently they made that statement because they know it's like somebody being harassed to say, look, if you do as far as the AG Federation has said, you don't have a right to ban open grazing. The president said next after that, the grazing route, go and establish it. In the wake of all these complaints, to say, look, these people have the right to pass a law in their state or to make a pronouncement which should be backed by law, banning open grazing. AG Federation said don't ban open grazing. Presidency said go and reopen the grazing route. So the body language is clear. And then at the same time, the media is okay, well, go ahead. We are even in support. Go and do it. Knowing fully well that, just like even in the press, they say don't mention a particular ethnic group. Even when you know those who are actually doing the thing, they don't mention it. Don't go there at all. If they even call them any name, call them bandits or no government, whatever they want to classify them, you want to shield their identity. Don't talk about it that you know that a spade should be called a spade and not a farm implement. Say don't call it a spade. So both the governor themselves, both the press, everyone have been hoarded. No one can speak. There's no free speech because now it's democracy. When President Jonathan was there was free speech, and he made this comment. Say, look, you people don't know the value of democracy. Don't know the value of this free speech that you are enjoying. When I leave, you will know the consequence and the value of all of these things. Worst things were said against President Jonathan's tenure, presidency. To say, look at what you are doing. You have done something bad. People call it clueless president. All sort of name and insult were passed. The man did not react because that was democracy. You have a right to air your opinion. That's your opinion. If you say the person is clueless, it's your opinion. He may not be clueless, in fact. So you allow people to air their opinion. But now, if you do that, they say hate speech. The same president that said that certain ethnic group is a dot in the circle. That was the gravest part of hate speech for the same presidency. But they are free to use hate speech. But if you use it, they come after you.
Yeah.
So that is exactly what is going on. So it's a script that they have already arranged. To tell the governors, oh, go ahead, go and do it, knowing fully well that if you do it, there will be consequences. They can use the AFCC to come after you. They can use any agency of government to come after you. Just like they wrote a letter now to governor of Delta State, and nobody has asked questions who wrote this letter. Just to analyze it. So you are creating this kind of crisis. So as you speak, our people must rise up. There's a need for restructuring because we cannot continue the way we are. This is not democracy. Democracy is not providing roads. The military provided roads. They built infrastructure during tenure of Ogbemudia, who was a military administrator. The infrastructure that was built in Edo State. So that is the essence of democracy, of building roads and infrastructure. That's democracy. That is not democracy. Democracy is free speech, liberty, ability to express your opinion without being held, without being guarded, without being circumscribed.
Okay.
That is what we are suffering now. We are not enjoying democracy as we speak because people are afraid to air their opinion the way it is. And as we speak now, sir, they should allow this country to be restructured so that every state will be empowered to carry out the security for their people, because you cannot say, okay, go ahead, president says, okay, governors, go ahead, go and secure your people.
All right, Barrister,
where you go the apparatus to secure people.
Barrister, hold on, I will come back to you.
Say wishful thoughts and business command.
Let me quickly add the flavor.
Before you are the kind of a writer, so to speak, you talked about the fear factor. Wike made it clear, and he is walking the talk. Autumn made it clear, he is walking the talk. Akerodo know the same thing also. Yes, there was a law, Amotoko is enforced doing whatever they need to do to secure the space. Is it a fear factor or political factor when you compare it to the southern, to the south governors or counterparts?
Here you have some exceptional governors, 2 out of the 17 that are speaking truth to power. And one thing I got from the whole exercise is that most of the governors individually, they don't speak. But they saw their strength when they come together. Yeah. It's like you and I, when we are inside the house, we insult the government of the day. Then once we come to the public, if the governor is there or the president is there, you start saying, Araka did this, you are the best thing that has ever happened. It's only very few that will tell the governor or the president to his face that you are a failure. Majority of Nigerians, they fall into the first category. Most of all these governors, because of their political ambition, they are afraid to speak their mind. Wike is an exceptional person. Akeredolu of Ondo State is also an exceptional governor. What about the rest? Let them come up and speak. For once, Governor Obaseki came to the public domain to tell the whole world that Nigeria was printing money to pay salary.
Courage.
That's courage. And everybody overwhelmingly supported him. If he can take that same courage, pass this banning on open grazing in Edo State, you see the whole of Edo State will follow him. I will guarantee you that. I will be the first person to jump into that train and follow him. He has nothing to fear. He is the governor and the custodian of Edo land, not the federal government, not AGF. AGF is just what do you call it? I'm just an appointee. To become a son is a promotion. They say probably with some, you can influence it. Probably the man had 5 points when he gained admission into university and became a son.
We are not talking about his academic qualification right now. Please
so they start, what I'm trying to say in essence is this. The governor can do more for the people. You need not to fear anybody. So far right now in Nigeria, there is one ethnic group that is trying to overload others. And people are prepared to damp the consequence and protect their fatherland. When the time comes, we will flush that ethnic group out. We have nothing to fear. And I have a farm. If peradventure they step into my farm, 1 corn is equivalent to 10 cows. I will not hesitate. So, my brother, we have reached that point of no return in this country. Like I've said before, they are here on a mission. And we are not going to fold our hands. I can never become a second-class citizen. And I will never allow my children to become third-class citizens. We have been living here. Before any of them, we are the oldest ethnic group in Nigeria. The Edo-likes, we are the oldest. So we are not going to fold our hands. So now, what we need to do, we are begging the governors, especially Edo, let us reform, reorganize, modernize the vigilante group. They can go further. And the state architecture that the president instructed them to create, here is an opportunity. We can use that institution that we have now to actualize our goals and objectives.
All right. To actualize our goals and objectives. But let's take a look at this issue. Let's dive deep into it. People keep saying the presidency, the president, the AGF, doing this to support a particular group, or some even accuse the presidency of supporting insurgency, which is not correct. They say it's because of the body language of the president. But they gave an instruction, shoot outside anyone that is carrying AK-47. Is that not enough protection?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, because if that order is enforced, you don't think there'll be a need to say ban on open grazing?
Okay. How many of them, these headers, that you have seen with Fulani, sorry,
please,
how many of these headers, I'm sorry, I know, we know who they are, though, but this idea of telling people, don't mention, don't call a spade, whoever they are carrying AK-47, as some governors said, they are using to protect their cows. And now, some of them even took photographs of some of these governors, you know, for the north, where they are talking about, let us come and negotiate. You see them with their AK-47 and a prohibited firearm by our federal law that you should not carry. How many of them have you seen they shot at sight? How many of them? They just made that statement, so they know who it applies to. And then we even find some others who are many carrying flags, who be carrying flags, and so those people that they are graduating from flags now to carry small arm. When you see those ones, again with their flags and small firearm, they can mold it with machine gun and everything. But when you see the other ones that are carrying AK-47, provided they are with some cows, no, they are sacred cows, they must not be touched. So the language is clear. When the man will shoot aside, they know those they are commanded to shoot aside is a coded language. They know those they will shoot aside, and they know those that will be exempted. So they know. So we cannot continue to deceive ourselves in this way. That is why you see them. At every time a comment is made to try to sanitize the system, which they consider to be affecting the business and interest of these headers, you see the federal agencies or the presidency coming quickly to their aid to say, no, don't do that. How can you say that there should not be open grazing? Okay, now, if we now also say that those who are selling spare parts in the north, they should not sell spare parts again. So that was the analogy he gave. Oh, they should ban every grazing, they should all ban those who are selling spare parts. So they have told you that we are here to protect these people, our people. Because now I keep saying that the presidency must be patriotic enough. I cannot find any patriotism with all due respect. I cannot find. If you are patriotic enough, you are patriotic to Nigeria as an entity and not to one ethnic group. When you play the ethnic card one against the other, you create crisis. Because we are seeing the way it is going, how you are favoring a particular ethnic group against the others. You cause some a dot in the circle. You say, okay, they will also ban them from selling spare parts. We know what you are referring to. Because they said, do not carry your cows over. In a civilized society, open grazing, is it still fashionable? Do you find them in developed climes? So the nomadic lifestyle, that old culture that we see, because culture is evolving. It is not static. So it has moved from that old style of, okay, moving them from one place to the other, still put them in one place and take care of them there. You can still sell your cows. Nobody is saying you cannot do cattle business in Edo State. You can buy a land and have a ranch put in there, supply your grass, and everything will be happy. Your cows will be safe, while my farm will also be safe. So they are trying to create orderliness in society. And you are saying, no, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. So right now, the shoot aside order is not made to actually bring solution to the problem. They just made that statement. It's a mere political statement. The real issue is political will that he has mentioned. The governors of the various states have their responsibility under the constitution to provide for security and welfare of the people. If you fail in that, you have no reason to be there. You are not there. It's not a cosmetic governance. If you cannot secure the life, so as you speak now, I begin to see from the point of view that where the federal agency has created security architecture for themselves. Let me take it that way, because we are a federal government, a federation, the federal agencies are created for themselves. What are the state created for himself? In pursuance of that policy, because we have that chapter the constitution, what they call it fundamental objective, and directive policy, the directive policy of the state policy. So now that directive policy of state is there that you should provide for the security and welfare of the people. In doing that, how do you provide for security and welfare? It's not by making laws to ensure orderliness, and the law on open grazing, planning open grazing is one of those laws that should be made. The law setting up a structured security apparatus for the states is another one of doing so. So if you're going to have whatever you want to call it for Edo State, you're only medical Edo State vigilante now. Look for a particular name to call it and pass the law and structure them, how they will be appointed, how they will be controlled, so they will be armed and everything. So as you have the federal agency having their presence for police in Edo State, and they have for security, they have for DSS, Edo State should also have their own structured security apparatus. They are being empowered by section 14.2 of the Constitution to do so. So it's the directive policy, is fundamental objective of the state to ensure that the security are for the people. So in doing that, if you are a city governor, you sit and say, look, I cannot do so because the federal agency controls the police. Yes, they have a right to federal police. In a developed climate, don't they have a right to federal police? And you also have state police. So is there anything in the law that has actually stopped Edo State from passing a law, setting up a security architecture for the various states? I cannot find anything in the law that prevents that. Because the fact that the federal agency have been empowered to create federal security architecture does not preclude the states from setting up their own.
Okay.
There's nothing there. So they should bring that law into existence to set up a structured security apparatus for the state. So that all this complaint will stop. So I'm sure when Mr. President said, stop complaining, go back to your state, do the needful and secure people. I think I believe in that statement. Okay. He has made some sense. He has sent a message to you. Forget about my security agencies. So forget about federal agency. Yeah. Create your own for your state.
So what are they?
How many have you created?
Good question.
So what are they waiting for?
Now,
so now the shooter site,
yes.
The shooter site order, like he rightly said, it was a mere statement on the part of the federal government. The actual shooter site or shoot at the dot in the circle at site is in the southeast.
You are giving another interpretation to that order. Is a general interpretation.
It
cuts across
Do you know the number
states in the federal, so
of times they have said shoot outside in the southeast? And the number of people they have killed. Then the shoot outside order in the other part of Nigeria. Have they killed anybody? No. But in the southeast, yes. Now, they are AK-47. The same federal government is creating National Livestock Transformation Plan. after rejecting Ruga, you want to bring these same people under ranching or whatever and allow them with their AK-47. You've not mocked the AK-47 from them. And you also said these are foreigners. How can foreigners be coming to your own country, killing your own people?
And you protect them.
And you are protecting them. And you want to create national livestock transformation plan for them, foreigners that are illegally residing in Nigeria.
Well, they never said that.
I'm coming.
They never said
They
that.
are illegally residing in Nigeria.
You are
and
now
this
bringing
same,
another
hold
hypothesis.
on.
Hold on,
It is not, this is reality, my brother.
hold on, please.
Yeah.
We walk by the rules and regulations of the airwaves.
Okay.
It will not be right for you to start putting up assertions here and there. You use the word illegal. They never mentioned the word illegal. Please.
I said
let's be
illegal
guarded.
aliens.
Okay, they
The
came.
president said
let
these
me
are
guarded.
foreigners. Hold on. The president said these are foreigners. Maybe you did not listen to that interview. He said they are foreigners from Burkina Faso, from outside Nigeria. So Niger and others. And this is the same president. If they are foreigners and you want to provide Ruga or national livestock transformation plan for them with their AK-47 inside the 36
you
states.
go again.
No, I'm coming.
Hold on,
Then
hold
you
on.
also said,
Please.
hold on.
Honorable,
And he create,
honorable. We are on air.
yes.
Please.
I know I'm on air.
Talk according to the ambient of the rules and regulations.
Okay.
We-
But
He
I've
never
not
said
said
he's gonna
anything
provide-
there.
Yes, that's the reason on a foul now.
Hold on. The president never said he's going to provide these elements for them with their AK-47. They never said that.
No.
They
He
said
said
anyone with AK-47 should be shot
okay,
outside.
good.
So why not
Assuming
bend the
those,
words?
assuming those,
So please,
okay,
let's be guarded.
assuming those rogue headers now apply to become residents within that Ruga or the national transformation, would they not come with their AK-47?
Yeah, well, you are not then because the
Okay,
law will take care of them.
So now,
How many of them have been taken care of?
have we mocked the AK-47 from them? No.
They
So
will
go to
pose-
end
they
up-
will pose with it.
Yeah, and these are
To
all
take picture with
illegal
governors and
aliens.
federal
According to the president, they are illegal
Appointees.
aliens. They are not Nigerians. You are protecting them. Now, you have given them all, the citizens' rights. They are there. You have taken whatever is asked. You have extended it to the 37 states of Nigeria that you have created. Nigeria is supposed to have 36 states. Now you have created the 37 states because your relations are there. The Republic of
Nobody created 37
Nigeria.
states.
It has become the 37 states of
Nobody created
Nigeria.
37 states, please.
What
We
they
have
have
36
benefited
states
from
and the
Nigeria,
Federal Capital
what they
Territory.
have benefited from Nigeria, Edo State has not benefited.
I'll come back to
Now,
you.
I'm coming, please.
Anchor, I'll come back to you.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I know. Just one more. What I'm trying to say in essence is that here, the South governors, they can put a stop to what the presidency is doing to the 37 states of Nigeria.
We have 36
No,
states,
I'm coming.
please.
I'm coming.
36
Please.
states, be
Yeah,
guarded.
36 states.
Yes.
They can put a stop by going to court because we borrowed money to build a railway line from point A to the 37 states of Nigeria, Republic of Niger.
Okay, this
and
is
the,
where-
the
this is
money,
where I
the
put my foot down.
revenue from South
Honorable, I'll
will
come back
be
to you.
used. Will be used.
I will come back to you. Hold on now.
The
I
revenue.
will-
So they
He says cousins are there.
Hold on,
yeah.
hold on.
So he
I'll-
said because
Thank
his
you,
cousins
thank
are there.
you, thank
So
you.
what we need to do
Thank
is
you.
to go to court and stop
Thank you.
that project.
Thank you. I'll come back to you. Please, viewers, we don't have 37 states.
Unfortunately,
36
I'm
states
not
and
a
the
lawyer.
Federal Capital Territory. So please, Honorable, please, we have to give the right information. 36 states with the Federal Capital Territory, not 37 states. Nigeria is not part of Nigeria. Let's be guarded for real. Please.
Yes.
We are here to give right information. Please
Yeah.
be guarded. Now, can it be said that if the a ban on open grazing is not really enforced, can one deduce that the governors that came together for that particular resolution, they have failed in that regard?
Yes, they would have failed in that regard. They would have chickened out and it appears that in fact, they will never be taken seriously anymore. For someone like me, I won't take them serious anymore. You came and you make a statement, you should give it legal backing. Why are you afraid? What is in it? If you made that statement for the best interest of the people, even there are even some governors in the north, that has actually supported the restriction or ban on open grazing. So it is not a thing that is bad. The fact that Governor Otumo Benue did it and he received attacks from these herders, and they appear to have been backed or supported by the federal agency, saying, the reason why you are being attacked because of ban of open grazing, if you want to have peace, go and revoke it. That should not put fear in the minds of this governor. Yes, you made a statement and then a letter of threat was sent to you. That should not put fear. You should be courageous enough. You are here for ourselves, for we the people. You are not there for yourself. If the governors were there for themselves, then they can begin to say, well, for my political ambition, I do not know. I'm a cross carpet like one governor in I think the crime governor they call him, Cross River, who cross carpeted, despite the popularity as the fame he has amassed in that particular state, he cross carpeted to the ruling party, and then people, why would that happen? So anybody can cross carpet, like you say, if you find that your sins are becoming too much, cross carpet, and once you get to the other side, your sins will be forgiven. So you have attained salvation. So for them, maybe they are looking at, maybe we'll go and get salvation somewhere. So let us be careful so that if we do this one and they may put a searchlight on us, and then if we don't go to and get salvation, we may be in trouble. Now they are afraid. That would be selfish on their part. You are there not for yourself, for the people. If actually what you are doing for the best interest of the people to create orderliness in society, why can't you give a legal backing? Because that statement, without sending it to the House of Assembly or the various states to have it passed into law, there would have been a stupid and useless statement that will be made by them, and they will not be taken seriously anymore. So they must walk their talk. You have made that statement, send it to the House. For orderliness in our society, nobody is saying do not do cattle business in the various states. We are not saying so. We are simply saying bring your cows, do ranching. Do not carry them from one point to the other in such a way that you go and affect other people. You can go to people's farms and go and destroy their crops and kill them and rape them and those sort of things. We say no. Don't go occupy the forest and create and make it become a base for kidnapping. You kidnap, you take, you clear ransom and all of that. All of these things we cannot continue like this. To create orderliness, they must give a legal backing to the same way they are made. Because if they don't do that, they will never be taken seriously anymore. Because they should realize the fact that under the Constitution, they owe our people this obligation. When they ban open grazing, they must also put up a security apparatus for the various states. It's not enough to say, okay, well, we ban open grazing at the end, come and enforce it. I'll give an example now. There's a law that was passed in the state, which the Oba of Benin and the governor come together to bring to pass, which is the ban on CDAs. Yeah. They set up a public private property protection law for the state. We provide that where if anyone disturbs another person from building, demanding money under any guise, whether you want to call it a molu, development levy, whatever you want to call it, if anybody disturbs you from building and charging money from you, they say that law creates an offense for such an offender. If you are found guilty of it, punishment is there, 10 million naira or 5 years imprisonment. Yeah. Now, that law is there. And people have been sending petitions to the body set up by the state government, which is the PPP, this committee they set up in Government House. Do you know that people have been going to that committee, and the committee appears to be lacking in the courage to enforce that law? If you go there, it's like a marketplace. People keep coming there and say there's three for working. They say for working. They say, well, what do you do? Okay, go and negotiate with them. See how much you can give them. If you give them XYZ, maybe they will let you to work. Is that why they set you up? The law says, I've lost such demand. All right. So now, it's another thing.
We will investigate that.
Yes, it's another thing.
That's talk.
Exactly. It's another to say, because I'm trying to make this point in the sense that it is not enough to make a law.
It's to back it up.
Exactly. So you must make that law to ban open grazing. You must also set up a committee with people who are courageous enough to implement it. If I see your cows on the street, I will confiscate the cow, I will sell the money, sell it, and put the money in government coffers. And you who parade the cows on the street, you will be prosecuted and sent to jail.
Thank you.
They won't enforce that. So they are to have the will to pass the law and to enforce the law.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. You have 1 minute each to summarize your point. Advice to the governors in the southern region that came together for that Asaba Accord. But Steve was still saying it's the same old story. 1 minute. Advice to the governors of the citizens.
Well, for Edo State, there is already existing bill before Edo State House of Assembly. We are appealing to Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki to kindly render his voice and support to enable Edo State House of Assembly do the needful and pass the bill and send the bill to the governor for assent.
Thank you.
And which can be done in less than 24 hours.
Thank you.
Is here in Nigeria. During the time of Jonathan, they passed 48 bills in 1 day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Barrister, 1 minute, please.
Yes, my advice, is that everyone that has been invested, with the vote and confidence of our people to put you in office, you must ensure that you utilize that, to the benefit of the people and to the best interest of the people. You must have the political will, to walk your talk. So they have made a statement, go past the bill into law and set up a committee that will ensure that it's implemented to the letter. And the state governors must also go beyond that point to set up a structured security apparatus for their various states to ensure the security and welfare of the people of the states.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate a wonderful analysis. Well, you've heard them. The opinion is entirely theirs. It has nothing to do with ITV. They did their best to restrain themselves because this topic is quite emotional. They did their best to restrain themselves to talk within the ambit of the law. The governors of the South region, Asaba Accord, 12 resolution, one of which is a ban on open grazing. People are not saying action. That's what they are saying. We are yet to see action. So what is happening? What is impeding, the zest from doing what people are really clamoring for you to do in order to secure lives and properties? That is what we are talking about on this platform. The ball is in your court. Are you going to let fear assuage you from doing the right thing? Or even in the presence of fear, you have the courage to do the right thing to safeguard the lives and property of the people in your care. It's up to you. You're watching. We're watching. We'll go on a break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.